What's going on, you guys? Alex here with Elevation Off-Grid. Welcome back to the shop. We got a pretty cool truck build to share with you all today. This is a 2024 Black Edition F-550. We did a bedlined bumper and flares that are going to be going on there too. This has a Bowen Customs Camper Bed going on there as well, and we'll be holding a Bigfoot Camper. These clients came to visit us last year, come to check out the shop, check out the trucks, go over some of their build. Now, full circle, they're here to pick up their truck. So we're going to show you guys their visit before, some of the build process, and then them picking up their truck. It'll still be kind of cool.
That's a no-no.
Really?
Yep. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And
Well,
it's
she's
funny.
a mix though, right?
Yeah.
So that
Oh yeah,
doesn't
she's
count.
100% mixed.
Yeah.
She actually identifies as a golden retriever. So
Oh, wow,
yeah,
that is
yeah, and the trunk. Yeah.
Good. Let's see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the right color.
Oh yeah.
It looks better than
She wanted silver.
What's that?
She wanted silver, and I
really
told her
wanted
white looks
it.
way better.
It does look cool.
No,
But because of the timing of all
Oh no, it came out very good.
Yeah.
It
That's
looks
good.
good. I was really worried about the white black. It looks good.
No, it came out really cool. The flares, the bumper, the line X, the step, ties it all in really nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's beefy.
So those will gray up pretty quick from the dust, I'm assuming. You know, that because we're not, you know, we tend to not wash our vehicle.
Yeah.
Part of that is our statement of, you know, we freaking go places. But
I don't know how much it'll gray.
well, when I say that, you know, it'll
Dust
catch
up,
the
you
dust.
mean.
Oh,
Road
absolutely.
dust, and it'll,
Yeah.
and, you know, until you wash it again or
For
it
sure.
rains on it.
Same thing with the
But
bed.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's no worries.
Yep.
And this
Walter
is that.
wants to be part of it today.
Yeah, he
Now,
does.
is this stuff you guys do to black the grill, or is that how it comes from?
So this is actually a grill that we purchased from Ford
Uh-huh.
that comes on a different trim level truck.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's actually an OEM Ford part.
Gotcha.
There are some people that will paint the chrome grills, the problem is there's no real way to create true adhesion between the chrome and like a primer.
Yeah.
You can get kind of close with like acid etching, but on a forward-facing component, it will get chips 100%.
No, it looks great. It really does.
So winch lives, obviously, you know, inside the winch cradle there.
Yeah.
Front bumper face bar slides over it. And then your brush guard, which we're going to see if we can install maybe at the truck camper rally, if that's something we can work out.
Yeah, we were talking, the three of us were talking about
cool.
that. Like, we'll go down if you want.
Yeah.
We weren't planning on going to it
Okay.
This year.
necessarily. You know, we were
Yeah.
a little bit back and forth.
Yeah.
We've known Mike since his very first one.
Okay, cool.
So we were part of the 20 or so people that did the very first one.
Nice.
And then we did an overlanding trip together, right? Where's that going to anchor in? You have a couple holes you have to drill, right?
Yeah, so
where are those going to go?
the primary structure of the unit, it actually attaches
To those brackets.
Yes,
Yeah.
to the winch cradle.
Mhm.
So this is actually one piece.
Yep.
So it's one piece, 3/4, bent, bent, bent.
Oh, okay.
So then the winch sits on that,
Yeah.
piece of 1/2 inch steel in the front. And this is the center support. And then there's a wing. This section is tubular. And there's a wing here, and it will basically bolt here.
You bolt into that.
Yeah.
Do you have to modify the fender flare to bring
No.
it in or not?
Nope, nope.
Good.
So it's
Good.
the only modification is 2 holes.
Yeah. So that'll go. So this piece of frame has
I can actually show you on a truck that doesn't have anything on it.
a normal comparison.
Yeah, I mean it's exact same. So you can kind of see like right about in here somewhere.
Mhm.
This is our coating,
Yep.
and then
Ford
right
coating.
around this edge, that's the Ford.
Gotcha.
So you can see how it's glossy in
Yeah,
the rear.
glossier and
But
flat.
more protection in the rear. Yep.
All right. Well, we're under here, so teach me. So what am I looking at? Component parts. So this is the reservoir for the.
Nope. So
What is that?
So that is the power module.
That's the power.
Yeah. So that's the power module. Now in front of that, there is.
This one?
Yep. So that's a fluid reservoir that is uncompressed. It's more like the basin. So that's where fluid is added. Then just to the rear of that right there is the desiccant filter.
Okay.
So basically what he does is he keeps moisture out of the white plastic reservoir.
And the silica beads.
Yes.
And how often do you replace the desiccant?
It really depends on where you are. Anywhere from 3 months to a year.
Gotcha.
So you eyeball it, they turn like a bright pink, it's time to replace
right.
it. Yeah. So the now these are your actual compressed fluid reservoirs.
Okay.
This is left rear, that's right rear.
Gotcha.
Right front is there in between the step
Yeah.
brackets. Left front's on that side.
Okay.
So that's actually where the fluid sits for each corner of the suspension itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm curious about.
This is. I got parts coming in down.
Yeah.
Press it down far.
Yeah. Yeah, this is sweet they did this.
Nice little handle on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I can even reach that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sweet. So is this one bike? This is 2 bikes.
It's 2 bikes.
2 bikes in here?
So we have to take pedals off. So let's take pedals off.
So we've got the rear back here. Fronts, obviously on the
Yep.
side.
Yep.
Oh, keep everything on the bottom. There's the water in this one.
All these little hidey holes.
Little compartments.
That's awesome.
So on your
So much more
Here's a
storage
camper,
with
small little
using this.
basically it's open, right? Drop down and then right there. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Good.
And then these guys will just kind of hang out there.
Yeah. Now you guys put 2 layers of mat in. Is there any lot? Well, sometimes the reason you have to do that is to get the camper high enough so that it's not hitting the cab over. So-
Correct.
But
Whether you will need 1 or 2, not sure. That's how Bowen set it up for you guys.
okay.
I would probably start with 2.
We'll see
Yeah.
if I can get away with none. So one of the things Triller World has a rubber mat that's only 1/4 inch thick.
Okay.
That'll do the protection of both their camper and the truck.
I'm pretty confident that a 1/4 inch will not be tall enough.
Not be tall enough
Yeah.
to clear.
I think minimum.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky, right? Because you have to make sure you have enough clearance right above the garage.
Right. Yeah.
Garage has to be that tall because it's
Yeah.
their tire.
Yeah.
So I would.
Yeah.
You may be able to start with one.
Yeah.
Start with the taller one, maybe.
Right.
Rear, front. And you obviously a ton of space up here. So. These are reverse lights.
Okay.
These are your rearward facing Baja lamps. Those are engaged with Oxford 6 inside the cab. Unlike a Host or a Lance, 1172, this position does still get a decent amount of light rearward. Also, this position of the backup camera, you do still have a decent view from underneath the camper. So it doesn't obstruct. It doesn't fully obstruct your rear.
Really? So when the camper's sitting there,
it doesn't totally cover it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'll hang to say about here.
Yeah.
But your field of view, you'll still be able to see under it. Now, it's not helpful, obviously. Like, there's a tree up here, but you still have a little bit of a view. Yeah. Yep.
and that's this is going into the normal Ford OEM connector.
Correct.
Gotcha. Made by TE Connectivity or Molex. Because what I've done on TC is put an aftermarket camera right back by the door of the current camper.
Yep. Yep.
What do you think so far?
So far, so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Love it?
Yeah, it's going to be, I'm not going to fall in love with it until I've been in it. You guys are about the visual to a certain degree. For me,
Well, we already know you're going to love it. So,
yeah,
so
right,
yeah, it's
right,
not
but
even-
it's being in it, living in it.
We don't even ever question that because
Yep.
we already know
Yep.
that it's going
That
to
part
be the
of it.
best driving, handling
Yeah, yeah.
truck you've ever driven. So we
I'm
just wait for
looking
the
forward to
we
driving.
just wait for the call afterwards after you guys get all
Yeah.
loaded and you call Travis. You're like, you guys weren't fucking lying.
Man,
Like,
it's
that's
so
the call.
great. This
Yeah.
is so different.
That's where you need your camera.
That's
man.
right.
Right, like that's when we need to
Somehow.
record
Need a dash
calls.
sound
How
like
about-
this.
how about
Yeah,
this?
video
How about-
call.
Mind
How
if we
about
record this?
how about when you're ready to call me because you've enjoyed the experience so far? Why don't you get your camera out
Yep.
and then why don't you just video
Sure.
Bob
Oh,
when
video
he calls
Bob.
me?
Yeah, there you go.
And then
There
you can
go.
send it to us. And we'll
Sorry,
make
you
sure.
might be out of a post.
Yeah.
post,
Whatever works.
No, you can thread it into whatever you're editing up for
Yeah.
that.
Alex is never out of material.
That's right.
I'm sure.
Did Alex tell you what happened on Christmas? Alex went ahead and posted something on Christmas Day that somehow went viral on Instagram. 1.4 million views, generated about 700
That's
Alex.
that's a good feeling, isn't it, when
Yeah.
something goes that
generated
viral?
about
gratifying.
700 email inquiries and about 200 phone calls into the show. Yeah, and I
Time
was
to,
like,
like,
yeah, thanks,
beat-
Alex, appreciate it.
Time to buy an AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So whatever happened, it was great.
Yeah.
Now I want it. What was the video on, Alex?
What other pickup can pull 34,000 pounds? Conquer Jeep Badge of Honor trails. Carry 10,000 pounds payload. And drive smoother than an F-150. The Black Edition F-550 from Elevation Off-Grid. World-class trucks.
And the heated seat system here, is it on the lariat trim? Is there a separation between the bottom and top? Can
No.
you make this? It's just all on or on.
Yes. Yeah. And then that button's right there. And then same thing with the cooling function. But it's not really cooling. I call it ventilated. There's a fan that will push air through.
They used to have a thing. You guys are probably all too young to remember. They're called cool cushions. Back in the day, when I was a kid, and nothing had air. There weren't even cars with air
Yeah.
conditioning. And then you had the wing, And but what it was like a wire mesh kind of thing, and it folded, and you'd sit on that, going to nice church in your nice clothes or whatever, so you wouldn't sweat through.
Okay.
Because even in an upholstered seat, you'd get wet from sweating in
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
With no, in the South.
And then they made them. Remember the little wooden ball ones that that let the air go through. They didn't.
That
look
doesn't sound
comfortable.
pleasant.
I know
Right.
it didn't. It didn't seem comfortable.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And then in here you got So this is a wireless remote for the winch for the spare tire.
Okay.
This is your bunch of extra keys.
For like
For the beds. Yeah. Yep.
And all the beds operate on one key
Yes.
then?
one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny story about that with our F-350. We had that truck for, I don't know, 6 months, and my daughter's in it with me, and she pushes, because on the 17, there's a little knockout here
Yep.
that you push. I didn't even know that damn thing was there. But she's always been, since she was a little kid, she's always been one of these people that needs to touch everything, you know, and she pushes on it, and all this thing.
She found the extra
Her
storage.
dad was flabbergasted, yeah.
So I'm gonna have you drive the truck forward and left.
Forward and left, okay.
So now go to aux switch number 1. It's furthest to the left. So that's your forward-facing lights. So we aim them low and inboard.
Yep.
It's not technically a DOT legal lamp, but the way that we aim them,
We're not gonna pull you over.
well, we didn't really go by that. We went by when people flash us. And that's kind of how we determined, we're like, well, if people aren't flashing us, then it means it's not in their eyes.
Right.
So that's kind of where that's at. Technically not legal, but right now you're about 35 feet. And you can see it's right about 20 inches off the ground. So that's not getting in anyone's mirrors, right? So that's aux switch 1, that's your forward facing. So go back on with those guys. So then we'll go headlights. You can see the beam is about 24 inches right above that, right? So now go ahead and go aux switch 2.
Just.
You can leave one on. Yep.
Where's that coming from?
So that's the
That's
light
main
bar.
light bar.
Light bar. So basically, if you think of forward facing, headlights, light bar, right? And then high beams right above it.
Oh, so the OEM makings are above that.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Much less light output than the light bar.
Gotcha.
So then aux switch 3, that's your corners. Yep. So now we can turn those guys off, 1 through 3. Now go ahead and put the truck in reverse. Doesn't have to be on. Now hit aux switch 6. Yep. So they're bright. So on the left side of the driver interface, that's your ride height control. So the left side up and down arrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So now moving right from that, you have your ride height. So right now you can see it's a normal. So if you actually push the down arrow, just once, just push and release.
Okay.
One more time.
What's that say?
Comfort.
Comfort. Okay. So that's
So-
how you'll.
And it's really, this is ride, I don't feel us going up or down at all, right? So this is height, but this is the ride quality.
Ride
So
quality.
when you guys are just driving around town or on the interstate, how do you normally do it? Run it normal, run it comfort?
Pretty
What-
much always in comfort.
Always in comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. So now moving one over from that, that's your height settings.
Good.
So right now
I'm
you
gonna
can
put
see.
this back into normal range.
Okay.
Good, okay, height settings.
So that's height. Right now it's a normal. Go ahead and press down once.
Okay, so it's engaging.
So if you can read that, it says M low,
So medium low?
medium low, and what that does, that moves the tail of the truck only.
Oh, interesting.
So if you look, that's M low, and then directly above normal is M high. So what that's doing, it's leaving the front normal, it's lifting the rear up or the rear down while leaving the front normal.
Okay. And then what are, the reasons for doing that? I mean, I can see an advantage when I'm loading the truck camper on, but
Yeah, so
what
loading a truck camper, hooking up a trailer, a lot of people in the truck camper community have found that M-Low helps them drain like their black and gray water tanks.
That's
yeah,
It's
that's a good point.
there's
Yeah, yeah.
or
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
pressure washing your bed, all the water drains right out. There's a lot of really weird things you'll find that's very useful for.
Gotcha. But if I hit low, it's going to lower all four wheels.
Yep, so now press it down one more time.
Yeah, and you feel it moving.
So
Yeah, I
that's
hardly
the
even
whole
felt
thing.
any movement
Yeah.
when we went to M
I
low.
think your foot's on the brake, yeah?
Oh yeah, good.
So
yeah.
did you hear that noise? So if you think about the front axle is basically on radius arms that are like this. So as it goes down, the axle is moving rearward. As it goes up, that axle is moving forward. So if you have your foot on the brake, you're going to prevent the tires from rolling.
Right.
Not going to damage anything, but you will hear that noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's the
yeah.
sound.
Good.
And you'll kind of get used to, like, once you get it in where you want it to be, you just throw it in park, and then you won't have to listen to that noise. But
Gotcha.
some people are really sensitive to it, some aren't.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Have you guys seen people mount ARB dual motor compressors in this compartment and where they end up putting it?
Yeah, no, we would never do that.
You
No,
wouldn't,
we mount
because-
them under the bed.
Under the bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep them as far away from heat as possible.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. We always mount our fuse here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fused with a factory 40 amp fuse.
Mm-hmm.
We wire it, and sometimes we will upgrade it to a 50 amp fuse because the engine bay will get so hot it will blow that fuse before it ever gets to 40.
Right.
But just as the ambient
Right.
temperature increases, right? So, yeah. I know that there are engine bay mounting kits that companies sell. Don't really love the idea of that. It's, from a mechanical engineering perspective, it's not the best idea. So that is the 80 amp liquid spring fuse. You ever open the door, getting into the truck, the steps don't go down. Step one, remove your OBD2 dongle, which is where your steps are plugged in, plug it back in. If that doesn't work, pull this fuse and then put it back in.
Okay.
Sometimes these trucks will receive like an over-the-air update at nighttime,
Gotcha.
and it will confuse the CAN bus system of the truck. Steps won't work. So cycle the power, they'll be good to go.
Worth getting another fuse, or
No, it doesn't blow.
It doesn't.
It doesn't blow.
Okay.
You just remove the power from it. It
And
does
then
the soft
reset.
reset. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I tell this story on every single pickup. It's happened one time with one customer, but he called and he's like, Jeremy, my fucking steps aren't working. What's going on? And I'm like, I'm not sure. Let me figure that out. And then we figured out it was from an update that Ford sent.
Oh, wow.
And it just confuses the CAN system.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's how the steps operate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winch access plate. If you look closely, you'll see those two divots.
Yep.
You want to ensure upon locking that they are lined up.
Okay.
It is a
See
compression
what
latch.
he means, Sheila?
Yeah.
A little tiny.
Yep.
So unlock them. There we go. Then hand up on the bottom there.
Okay.
That's how you pull it up.
Yeah.
And then thank you. Yeah,
How many feet are on this?
100. So free spool operation here. Pivot him around, other way. And that'll allow you to pull it out, right?
Right.
You can mechanically unroll it, right? So if you wanted to, sometimes when it's spooled all the way in like this, it is a little bit hard to get it out.
Yep.
So if you're on loose ground or something, you may want to mechanically retract it.
I need a refresher.
It's a common misconception. People think these are traditional locking hubs. They're not.
They're not.
They're not. Even on your 350, they're not.
Turn it and see what it feels like. It feels different.
Oh wow, that's so easy.
And there's a spring in there. Feel that?
Oh, and it clicks in the end instead of.
Well, ours does too, but not so
Does it?
aggressively.
That's easy. Ours are really hard. We have to get out this Leatherman for me, and
They're probably just old. I mean,
Yeah.
this will probably feel just like that in 5
Yeah.
years.
probably.
You know? So you will never ever have a need to turn this on unless you have a failure in your four-wheel drive system. So this is only a backup measure for engaging the electronic switch on the fly four-wheel drive.
Oh, no kidding.
When he's in auto and you use your four-wheel drive switch and you put him in four-wheel drive, for low or for high, it's engaging the front axles,
No kidding.
right? Yeah. Now,
So there's an
When did they
on-the-fly
start doing
switch in
that?
there.
yeah, it's electric.
So ours at home is that we don't have the on-the-fly.
Well,
we
manual
have
transfer
the
We have
lock
a
and
manual.
rear
Yeah.
is electric. The
What's
lock and
that?
rear is electric on the 250.
No, but I'm saying the one that we made a mistake on, we don't have
Yeah,
it on the fly.
right, it's
Is
just-
that
it's a,
me?
you know,
Okay.
That's the rear
Oh,
diff
yeah.
though. Like the 350s usually have that electronic
Right.
rear diff one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
And the front is.
But your 350 is I'm sure switch on the fly, right? You just
Yeah,
push
yeah.
a
The
button.
350 is.
Yes.
Yeah.
four wheel.
Yeah.
the same
Our
thing-
250 is not.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So the way that works is you push a button inside the truck, it sends a signal to a plenum, an air plenum actually, and then it will close or open. Just throw them in high and I'll show you. So this is actually what engages and disengages the four-wheel drive.
So that's
And
air?
It's air. So if you tear this off, which I've done before, you tear this off, all of a sudden you go to engage your four-wheel drive and it doesn't engage because you damaged your hose.
Yep.
That's when you're like, why isn't my four-wheel drive working? And then maybe you can't repair a hose or whatever, then you get out and you switch it. Otherwise, if you put it in 4-wheel drive inside and you come out and play with the hub, it's doing nothing for you. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yep.
Our first like big official one.
We're going to be living in it tonight.
No,
Oh,
but he's
in the camper.
asking. He's asking where we're going on our adventure.
Right now,
so-
our other truck camper's down in Boulder City, so
City.
we've got to go back down there. That's where we're trying to get
Arizona?
it. So,
Okay.
no,
Nevada.
Nevada.
Okay.
Just
Nevada.
Las Vegas area. We figured that's
Okay.
a good market.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
one of our first what that we're most excited about is Bitter Springs Highway in
Backcountry Byway.
Backcountry Byway in Nevada.
Yeah, it's
right?
Nevada. It runs
It's
between
Nevada.
kind of Lake Mead, Valley of Fire area.
That's really
and
cool.
It's like a
Route
28
I-15.
mile road. You
Nice.
spend a few days on it just because it's so gorgeous. You want to spend time. And we've met like OHVers on it before, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna have to turn around. You're gonna
In the
have to turn
350
around
or
in
the
our
250
350
with the truck camper on
And
it.
they're telling us that, yeah, you're not going to be able to do all this. And we're like, okay, well, we'll turn around if we have to turn around. And then we keep waiting and
Oh,
waiting.
you have to
for
back
the-
up a mile. I said, well, then we'll back up a mile.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
And we've done it. We've done it 3 times, I
Three
think
times,
now.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
it's a good benchmark for us to take this one on. There's really only one kind of techie, narrow, gnarly,
Well,
rock
there's
crawly
really
spot.
2. One's like,
These are surprisingly nimble.
Yeah,
Like Jeremy was saying, we have
Yeah.
put it through some pretty that where 550s have no business being.
Yeah.
And we're passing like Jeeps and stuff coming down,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What are you guys
They give you
doing?"
the look.
that's great.
It's okay.
The win-win on that for us is Bob and Sheila of Adirondack Adventure Base.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to get
Oh,
some
we'll tag
stickers
you
here.
out
in a
on
Yeah,
moment.
tag
Yeah,
Adirondack
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Adventure
'cause that's,
Base.
you
Yeah.
know,
Always.
Yep.
We're still trying to figure out how we're going to tell our travel story and not dilute that brand, but because that's a glamping brand
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
But we're also licensed backcountry guides, and that's all part of our overall. All right.
You want me to pull it out for you guys?
No, I got to just do it.
Okay.
I love it.
I have to.
Let's go.
And I need the rental car.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Been a true
Last
pleasure.
time.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you very
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Thank you.
You betcha. It'll be interesting to see what you do with your
Thanks,
edits.
Al.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Al. Thank you.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you
I
very
had a good time. I think you'll love the truck. We will see you in February.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for checking out another truck build with us. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon for notifications every time we upload a new video. Check out the merch shop, elevationoffgrid.com. We will see you guys on the next one.